Um, this is a little bit of a different file share about John F. Kennedy, and I realized because I was in the sixth grade and I cried when I became aware of what was being reported had happened to him in Dealey Plaza in Dallas that day, that he was reported to have been shot and killed. I wasn't there, so I didn't experience it directly. I got it through hearsay, through their programming, right? It just came through the news. Pathogenic, pathological liars who lie about everything. So this is a file about Metatron. The reason that John F. Kennedy was removed from office is because he was getting in the way of Metatron. Metatron had other plans. Okay? And Colonel Fletcher Prouty brought that out, for example, when he talked about a directive called number 55, like a 55 amperic harmonic, as that relates to future planning agencies, as in Agent Smith, as in QI coded Borgia matrix, victim victimizer, games. The games. The board game. The war game theater. Because all we have to do is look at the future result. If you've gone into the State Department Historical Archives, which I did decades ago, I went and looked at a memorandum that Colonel Fletcher Prouty makes reference to, one of which is called 263. Because President John F. Kennedy did not want Americans to be involved in Vietnam and didn't want to use, if you will, all the money that comes about as a result of the electrical speed of the American people as battery-operated slaves to be used to make all the machinery that would thus be transported, as it was before the end of World War II, that America to invade Japan, but that wasn't what it was for. That's called a cover story. Window dressers. It's not what it appears to be. Oh, we need to defeat Japan because we got to bring them under the heel of a Nazi boot. So we're fighting the Axis power. So we're busy working every day in all these war machine factories, right, to produce all these supplies and all these weapons, which is logistics, which is neurological, in order, the mathematical order. Future proofs past, back to the future. Remember the NASA document, the future is now. The eternal sun is always on. The one I learned through. The first son, the first musician, the first spirit, the eternal spirit of absolute, pure, eternal, absolute love. The first sun, the first rays of light. And how that relates to learning speed. The mathematics. And so all the stuff that was produced at the end of World War II that was being canvassed and projected into the minds of the American people was actually being used for a completely different operation that was already planned way in advance. But the American mind was not aware of that. All those supplies went into places like Korea. So the Korean War was already planned long before World War II was ever planned. Really, yes. Same thing with Vietnam. In other words, John F. Kennedy was getting in the way of the indigenous ancestral spirits as it relates to legate lines of the ancient ancestral spiritual bloodlines that were living in Vietnam. That's called a target selection. And how that relates to timetables as a phantom matrix table, as a Metatronic table, has other plans. And John F. Kennedy was in the way of those plans. All you have to do is look and see how many batteries expired, their tags, in helicopters in Vietnam. and how much time and energy was built to make all those helicopters, to crash all those machines that generated not only all that chaos, but all that blood sacrifice. Yeah. The biggest vampire. Yeah. Smaller vampires, bigger vampires. And so John F. Kennedy had to go. He got in the way. And so you see what ends up happening is the memorandum that President Kennedy had signed in there that we don't want Americans getting involved in this operation. Sorry. Metatron has other plans for Vietnam. And you're either going to go along with the plan and obey the order, or what happens? You get targeted. That's right. And that's called target selection. Genetic targeting. Haploid types. The mathematical types. Crystal types. The intercrystal rainbow types. The Aurora types. Yeah, that's why we're here. Typecasting, like in casting spells, like in hypnosis. Oh, hypnosis. Yeah. Mathematical hypnosis. The optical character recognition of hypnosis. The spelling bees. The letters don't match. Oh, the pairs don't match. They misfire all over the place. Just like throwing aluminum out of an airplane in Vietnam called chaff, like in a microwave oven. Sparks, circuit breakers, misfires, neurological misfires, neurological disorder. It's a breathing disorder in every living organism, every cell that breathes. That's why we're here. That's why it's a cosmic level reset. Reset the breathing order, which is to reset the neurological order, which is the mathematical order of a crystal wave. Yeah.